Hi there, welcome to my art studio. My name is Kathy Chattaraj of Future Picassos, and today we are drawing Luca and Alberto from the Disney animated movie Luca on a Vespa. So grab a piece of paper and your favorite pencil and meet me in the art room. Okay, so here we are today. We are drawing another sketch from Luca, the Disney animated Pixar movie about a young boy, Luca, coming to age. This drawing includes Luca and his friend Alberto, who's also another sea monster. Alberto kind of, as you know, if you've watched the movie, takes Luca under his wing and shows him what the human world is like. And here is a really funny drawing of them on a Vesta. And if you're Italian, I think you refer to them as a motorino. But I love Vespas. I think they're so much fun. And I love the move in the movie where they're off, they play around on the Vespas. And I just think it's fantastic. So I don't know if I'm going to draw this one in my Saturday morning class, or I'm going to draw another one. I'm kind of going to see how hard it is to draw this. Hopefully it won't take us that long, but it's definitely not as simple as the other three drawings that we're doing. So if you like the other three, then you can kind of put this one together as the grand finale, but I'm always up for a challenge, right? So we can do hard things. So how do you find me? I am Future Picassos. You find me at futurepicassos.com. You can check out my Instagram at Future Picassos, and you can send me information about upcoming sketches at info@futurepicassos.com and get on my mailing list. So let's get started with our drawing. So just like in our previous drawings, I've come up with a generalized cartoon, right? And this generalized cartoon is kind of traced shapes of the actual drawing that helps us kind of see placement of things and other shapes without the noise. And the noise is eyes, nose, mouth, ears, hands, feet, and all the details, right? So when we simplify things in our brains, we can then learn to put them on paper in a very, uncomplicated way, and then go back in with our eraser and finesse the lines and add the details, and knowing that we have the placement. And this would be kind of like your rough artist sketch. And I'm going to show you how to lay this out. Okay, so I am going to put my drawing of Luca and Alberto away. So I'm not going to be looking at that. And I have here on my drawing table today, the same paper that I always use. It's a heavyweight drawing paper that I can erase a lot with. If all you have is regular copy paper or doodle paper, that's totally fine. Now I grid my paper out because I'm measuring, right? We're going to be drawing this, and I use the grid to help me measure the shapes. And so a big part of drawing is brain training. And we're training our brain like a muscle to see shapes in space so we can put things on paper and learn how to see. As artists, we're always learning how to see. And if we learn how to see in real life, it's even easier to learn how to see from our imagination, because we can kind of, adapt to forms and shapes, which I think is really important, right? I'm kind of a reference artist. I like to reference things. I'm not really an imaginative artist when I paint, because I'm a painter. I do like to kind of reference and, so to speak, channel from my imagination what I see from the other side of my brain, so to speak. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to put this drawing over here I always have scrap paper handy, but I'm going to kind of move it so I can't really fit both drawings on my page, right? So I'm going to move it over here like this. And I'm going to kind of bring it in here. And then that way we're going to focus on one half and then the other half. And so it might give people anxiety, but it'll be kind of something that it'll help you understand better this whole process. Like I could even cover this up all the way, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm actually going to probably start a little bit like this. I think that's good. Okay, a little bit like this. Okay, so there's a lot going on here. There's a lot of shapes. And where do you start? There's all of these shapes, and there's the head and where different things line up. So I also use this tracing paper kind of as a tool to measure where I want things to go, right? So I am going to start with the head, and I usually don't do that. I think it's kind of a faux pas, but I'm going to start with the head. So here's the middle of my page. It's kind of what my mind is telling me, start here and kind of move down. So I'm going to find the middle of my paper here. And then the first thing I'm going to do is measure where exactly this head goes. So I like to measure using my fingers like this. And my chubby little fingers are, and I always say that because I feel like I don't have those graceful piano hands. 3 of my fingers together is roughly 2 inches. 2 of my fingers together is roughly 1 inch and 3/4 or 1 inch, just shy of 1.5 inches, right? And so 1 of my fingers is about a little bit more than 1/2 inch, but I use my fingers. So if you have smaller hands and you're using your fingers, your drawing is going to be smaller, just so you know. But this is how I see. I use out with this grid using my finger. So now I do these little guidelines here like this. So my head, I'm going to measure 3 fingers up from the guideline here. So I'm going to measure here, and I'm actually going to put a line right here like this. Now I'm drawing very lightly at home, and you don't have to draw this line. It's my pencil sharpener if you don't want to, but this is I'm kind of going to put it in a box. And my one side of my head is going to start a little less than 2 fingers over, right? So about like this. And I'm just making a little box around where I want my head. And then this is kind of how I gauge. So Luca's head is a little more than 2.5 fingers up. And I can kind of see from this box right here, if I put that over there, I can kind of gauge how big or small I want it to be. And my next shape is going to be about 2 fingers. Now, I tend to draw things bigger in real life than they really are, but than I have over here on this page. So just keep that in mind. Everyone translates things differently, right? Okay, so here is this, and then my head is going to go right inside this box, and I'm going to make kind of a squarish circle right in here. Now, notice how I'm drawing the head and I'm kind of going around and around and around and around. That is called finding the shape. And just kind of keep that in mind. It's not a wrist movement. It's a circular movement because I'm just sketching out these shapes. Now, from here, since Luca's body is pretty straight up and down, I'm going to make a line down the middle of his body. Now, a very light line. So I kind of can keep on point, right? So if I were to make a light line down the middle over here, another grid, it would kind of look like that. So coming down the body, about 2 fingers down or a little less than 2 fingers down. So about right here, I'm going to make a line that goes across like this. And then I am going to make a triangle. So I know the top of my triangle roughly starts about right here. And then on either side, I'm going to measure it over 1 inch. And then this triangle is kind of going to represent where Luca's arms are going to go. So I realize that there's a lot of shapes happening in here, and this might take a little bit longer than our usual videos. So I'm not quite sure I'm going to teach it tomorrow. I actually might let people choose. So then the next shape is going to go right in here, and it's pretty much I'm going to treat it like a rectangle right here like this. And this is going to be part of his body, right? And then I'm just going to start moving down the way, so to speak. So here, if I put my finger in here, make a dot right there, right? There's going to be a line that starts right up about right here and comes down like that. And that's going to be the top of his knee. And then it's going to come down like this. And then it's going to come over right about here like this. Okay. And then over here, I'm looking at this negative space right here. So this comes down from right here to right here, comes down like this. And then his little elbow is kind of in here. It comes down like this. And obviously, you know, these lines aren't perfect, but we'll go back in and we'll finesse the lines, so to speak, right? And we'll make it look like what it really is. And then right in here, I'm going to put in a oval for his hand. Moving right along. So right over in here, here's the middle, right? There's a line that looks like this right there. And then this is about a finger wide. This comes up like this. And then it comes down like this. And again, sometimes the measurements are off. That's totally normal. So I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to measure over like this. And then I'm going to measure down. It's about a finger and a half down right here. And then that is going to be this angle right here. So I sometimes think that these drawings, right, even though they're abstract or whatever you want to call it, are just really kind of, what do you call it? They're kind of, you know, abstract. They're shapes on a page that make up a bigger thing. And that's kind of how you have to think about drawing, right? And I kind of think about life like that too. They're shapes on a page that make up they have a bigger meaning, right? So my legs are right here. This line right here comes down like this and then comes down like that. And then I'm going to make a line right here. And that line comes over like that. And then this line comes down like that. And so basically it's this shape right here. So shapes, everything is made up of a shape. And if you start looking to learn things as a shape, it becomes much easier, right? So this line curves around like this back line, this line right here. And then this shape right about right here, technically is going to connect right there like that. Great. And so now we kind of want to put his leg in. So from right here, just looking, I'm going to make 2 dots there and there. And then this line kind of comes down and around. So I'm just going to wait on that. So I know that my foot is going to come down about a finger length, right? And it's at an angle. So this has to be longer. So it's at an angle that comes down like this and over like this. And then my foot comes down like this. Our geometric man. Okay, so we're staying right on kind of target with what we're doing. So then this leg comes down like this. It's pretty straight, but not quite. And then over like this and down like this. And then there's a triangle in here. I'm just going to draw that triangle. And it looks like this. And then this comes down like this. And then think about this shape in here looking like this. So once you get going, you really start putting it together and seeing how the different shapes all come together. So that comes down like that. And then this foot kind of intercepts here like this. And then this comes over like this. And so now we're starting to make progress. It's not as hard as you think. So then this, I'm going to draw a line that comes across the bottom like this. And I'm going to let you catch up and sharpen my pencil. Okay, so then this has a nice curve to the back, like this. Or however you want to do it. When I lived in Italy, the Vespa situation was very cool. And so this is about 2 fingers over from here to right about right here. And I am going to make a semicircle. It looks a little bit like this. And so, and then from here to here, I'm just going to make a line that looks like that. And then there is a little tailpipe line that comes out right about over here. That looks like that. So there we've drawn pretty much half of our scooter situation. So I'm just going to move this over and let's put in Luca. No, Luca, Alberto, our guy. So let's see here. Again, looking at the shapes, right? So if I draw a line from here to here, I want to have these shapes kind of lining up in such a way that they're going to make sense, right? So Luca's body, Alberto's body comes down like this. I'm just going to look at this shape right here, which is kind of a square, right? And then his arm, this guy over here, comes, this is an arm shape actually. It comes over like this, and his hands are going to come around in here. So then this comes over and up. And then I'm just going to draw it as if it's a straight line. Comes up like this. So he's hunched over, right? And then right in here, I have this kind of oval shape. That's going to be kind of that's going to actually be his hand. It's going to help me put his hand in. And then I can erase that line. And then right in here on the top, this rectangle is going to be the connector of this shape, which is part of the bike. So when I'm looking at these shapes in real life or in, art world, drawing world, I'm actually just looking at the shapes. I'm not thinking arms, nose, hands, mouth, that kind of thing. And the interesting thing is that as you train your eyes to see and see a different way, you then can get better at making the shapes, right? Which is important. Okay, so this ear kind of sits right on this back end of this line, right? So I know that I want my ear is going to be right over here like this. And I know that I want the top. So he has really huge hair, but I want the top of my oval for Alberto's head to be kind of right over in here. And I want it to kind of line up right about right in here. So like I drew a box over here, I'm drawing a box over here. And then I'm going to put in this oval for Alberto's head. And again, I always have to go back and say, we will finesse the lines later. That's not what is important. I'm going to put in this ear shape though. And then right on top, he has this crazy hair, but I'm just making a shape to kind of fit in the hair. So I did draw pretty lightly, and I am going to erase some of these lines. And this is why I use thicker paper, because I like to erase. And if I was normally not talking through the sketch, I'd probably go a lot faster and I would go, doo, 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 and then I would just continue on. I do want you to know though, that as I'm drawing, you know, you can pause if you want to rewind, etc. It's perfect because that, you know, is giving you kind of an inkling into what I'm doing, and you don't have to think that, you know, you don't have to, these shapes don't have to be perfect, right? We're not trying to be perfect. We're just trying to draw a drawing, and your way of seeing is different than my way of seeing, and it's your drawing, right? So you can do whatever you want. You can add whatever you want, etc. So there's a shape over here that comes out like this and goes down, down, and kind of curls around like that. And this is the top of the scooter. And it's pretty close like that. And then if I look in here, what I love this S shape. So this is really an important shape, right? And what does that look like? And what does that feel like, you know, in your hand to make this S shape? Practice it a little bit. Kind of comes down like this. You can make it more exaggerated if you want. You don't have to. The beauty of and language of art is that you come up with your own language as you draw. There's no perfect, right? In anything that anybody does. Everybody has their own special language. And doing drawings like this is just, it's just practice, right? We're just practicing. Okay, I am going to kind of cover this up like this so we can put in the shape of the wheel, right? So here is this shape right here. And then this comes down. And here's his pants. So I have this shape, and maybe it's not, maybe it can come over a little bit. Don't be afraid to erase. That's all I'm saying. Don't be afraid to start over. If you don't like something, you can always paint over it, draw over it, etc. Now let's measure where the top of the wheel goes. So the top of the wheel is going to go right about right here. So I'm going to make a line that comes down like this. And then it's going to come over about right here. And that wheel is about 3 fingers wide and about 3 fingers. It's like 3 by 3. So it's going to kind of fit into this box right here. And why do I put the box? Well, I put the box because, let's get it even here. I put the box because I think it's important. So here's the base of our scooter, and here's our wheel. And let's draw that wheel using our whole entire arm. Cool. So then the top of the wheel has this little kind of cage on it. It's going to kind of come down like this and over like this and kind of look like this. And then there's going to be a little headlight right here. So it's going to kind of look like that without getting fancy, right? So here we have, now I'm going to put this away so you can see what we just did. And here we have our drawing of Luca and Alberto on the Motorino. So, which I think is pretty cool, right? And so how you finish this off is kind of how you see, right? So I think it's cool because here we have a really very clean blueprint for our finished drawing, right? And without getting all anxious and caught up in how we think things should look, we kind of break things down into a different form, shape-wise, and we can then learn to see, just changing things, we can then learn to see how we see things in actualization, right? We don't get caught up in the noise, right? So this is the noise. I am going to color in these eyes because they're a little crazy and they bother me. So they have crazy eyes and they're like, driving on the scooter. So I think it's pretty cool. So we're ready to start the next step of our drawing. And I am going to put this over here. And I'm going to start probably with the scooter right in here. You know, I'm always like, oh, where do we start? How do we do it? But I will say that having a layout is very important with lots of things that you do. Like, even if I'm going to paint something, I kind of lay it out and put it all together, right? So I am going to just clean these lines up a little bit. And I'm going to start right in here. So from here to here, I'm going to put this head like this chin shape right up here. And then I know he has an ear like that. And right over in here, I'm actually going to do something. I'm going to draw a straight line down the middle so I can see the shapes. Okay, it's pretty much straight. Okay, so here's my line. I'm going to redraw that line. Oh, my eraser's being weird. Just moving it over slightly. This helps me put things into perspective. Isn't that what we're always just trying to do, is put things into perspective? Okay, so my neck, erase that. My neck is going to go from right here to right here, and then it's going to go over like this and down like that. And that's my neck shape. and connected to my neck is this very tiny collar. So you get into tinier shapes, and this helps you put it together. But if you were to start by drawing these tiny shapes, I think that you're going to quickly lose sight of your whole entire composition. So then down like this is going to curve down like this, and this is going to be his shirt. So we're putting in his very cool shirt. And then this comes back over like this. And then from right here, to right here, there's a line like that. And then his shoulder. So our shapes aren't exact, but they are, they're helpful, right? So then this line comes down around like this, and this comes around like this. And then he has a little cuff right here. And so here is the back part of his arm. And then his elbow kind of comes out. And this is where you have to say improvise, right? So I'm going to draw this shape first. This kind of comes down and around like this. And then this comes over like this. He has these like spaghetti arms. And then his hand, I'm just going to put it in like this for right now. Starting to look like something. Okay, so then this shoulder comes out a little bit here and comes down like this. And then this comes over, and I'm going to draw another cuff. Like that. And then this body. Comes up like that. And then this gets connected. Sometimes there's lots of erasing. So then this comes over. Over like this. And then down. And then here's my little shirt cuff. So then my arm is going to come. I notice that my arm's a little short. Okay. Elbow over. I notice that my arm is a little short. That is okay. So, and then this is over. All right, now let's do his legs. So the back end of Alberto's body is like right in here. And then he's got some swimming trunks on. So you might want to erase these guidelines if they're too confusing for you. This goes up and over. And so his shorts, so if I have this line right here, his first leg is going to go from right there to right here. And then this top leg is going to come over like this. And then his knee this comes down right here like this. And then his knee looks like that in there. And this leg, when I ink the lines, they'll become much cleaner. But as I'm kind of drawing them, they sometimes look a little fuzzy. Okay, so this comes up like that. And then his leg comes down. And around like that. And the top part of his foot is in here. And he has 4 toes. Most characters have 4 toes and 4 fingers, if you've noticed. And so over here he has, and this is kind of where we start adjusting things. Like that. And here's a finger, here's a finger, and here's a finger. And then this comes up like this. So the back part of his leg is right here. Like that. Ta-da! Doesn't have to be exact. So here's the back part of our scooter. And there's a little tailpipe right here. And then I'm always kind of seeing where I want to improve things. So from here, and it's okay if you draw through the form. There's a scooter detail line right here. And then this is like the platform that they stand on. And then this is the wheel base. And then here's the wheel. So in the wheel, there is 3 rings for the tire, right? So here's the first one. And then here's the second one. I have to sharpen my pencil. Okay, so let's go up and finish Luca's head. So my eyes are going to go right in here. My nose is going to go right about here. And my eyebrows are going to go up here. And my mouth is going to go right about right here. And I have an ear that's going to go right over here. like that. And so my forehead is going to start right in here. That's my hairline. So let's see. His forehead, he's kind of square, his face, right? So my first eye is going to be right in here like this. And my second eye is going to be over here like this. And I'm just going to put them in like that, big circles. And you obviously can adjust them, right, as you go. And then my mouth is going to go like this. Big open mouth. And my eyebrows are going to go up here. So I'm going to have one eyebrow here like this. And then I'm going to have one eyebrow over here like this. Okay. And then my hair is going to start right in here like this. And he just has this like curly, kind of crazy hair. And then this kind of comes down like this. And there's his hair. Like that. And just know that at any time you want to go back and fix anything, you can do that. So then this eye circle is going to be written here. This eye, and then over here, this eye. And then he has a tongue in here like this, and then some teeth. We have to put his nose in. He has a little nostril here, and a nostril there. And then he has some teeth. Like that. Oh, don't forget his other tooth. Just like, they're just details, and you know, you can tweak it as much as you want. And kind of go back in and change things. Okay, let's move on and let's draw this down here. Let's draw the bottom half of Luca. Not Luca, Alberto, sorry. So here's the back of his leg here. And then his shorts are going to come right down to the end of this seat, right? So the cuff of his shorts are going to go from right here to right about right here. And they're going to be about this wide. And look something like this. Based on that. And then the other side, sorry. I'm just going to erase these lines. And then the other side, this is going to come down like, that's too much. That's good. Come down like this. And then this is going to come down like this. So the top part of his knee is coming down and around like this. And then the back part of his leg is going to come down here. And then I just have to erase this noise. Well, there's noise outside, but the noise on my page. And he's got these little skinny legs. And then his foot is going to come over in here. It's got kind of club feet. And then 4 toes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then let's put the other foot in too. So this line is going to change. It's going to come down from right here. And it's going to come over like this. And then this is going to come around and down. And he's kind of got a big toe here and up like this. So down and around and up. There are his legs. And let's put this into this little detail. So from right here to right here, and make this semicircle. And then from right here to right here, I'm going to make another semicircle. And then it has a little knob right there. And so this comes down like that. I'm going to move things over so we can see. So let's finish his body. So his chest kind of comes down at an angle like this. And Luca's fingers are right in here, like that. And then he has, I'm just going to erase this because it's going to be easier for me to see. So if I were drawing this handlebar, it's going to come around like this. And around like this. It's going to kind of intercept right over here. Draw a line there. The top part of his hand goes like this. And then his fingers go in here. I'm just going to put it in as a shape like that. So here's the back of his hand. And then I am going to erase this so it is less noise. So I have this shape that comes down, and then this shape that comes across. And then I have the end of my handlebar. And then I have this that comes across like that. And that's the top of his back of his arm. And this line comes up here. And then this line comes down like that. And then this top part of the shoulder hooks around like that. Oh, that was hard. And so then this line, it helps if you have a sharp pencil. So this line in here, I'm going to put my fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then my handlebar thing. So here we have our ear. Then, and here we have our shoulder. So his neck is going to go from right here to right here. And then it's going to have a little line like this. Maybe it's a little smaller than that. And my face is going to come around like this and up like this, and it's going to curve. And this is where you have to give yourself grace, and you have to just kind of put it all into perspective, right? And you have, grace means lots of different things, right? But think about it. You have to understand yourself to kind of get the right shape. And then the back side of his hair. I like to tell people that inside of you are and I tell this because I want to remember it myself. Inside of us, we each have the tools to unlock the secrets to the knowledge to understand what we're doing in our lives, and doing skills to practice them are activating the tools. So if you're interested in becoming, he has this hair that stacks. If you're interested in becoming a better artist or a better person, or if you're just doing anything, what you're really doing is you're practicing your skills. You're activating your tools. And drawing, art, is a way to kind of do that, right? To activate your tools. Use all the tools in your toolbox. So to have grace in what you're doing is to give yourself understanding to kind of do hard things, right? It's not easy to kind of practice this kind of stuff on a day-to-day basis. Okay, before we draw the face, I'm going to leave the face for last. I'm going to draw this shape over here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw this circle right here. And then I'm going to draw this shape around the circle. And then I'm going to draw this shape right here. And it kind of comes down like this. This is where I get to see. So this shape comes around. And this comes around. And this is my light. like that. And then this comes over like this. So from here, and this comes around like this. So this little detail right here on the end, I'm going to turn my paper to do this, is a parallel line that kind of squiggles down all the way. Like that. And up here, this goes like that. That's looking a little thick, so I'm gonna clean it up. And then this comes around like that. Cool. So there's this line that kind of comes over like this, and then over like that. And in here, this comes down like this and up like this. And there's another light right there. And there's another light right there. And then this shape looks like that. Vespa shape. So the hood on the tire kind of comes around like so. And then this comes around like this. Okay, so here we have the bottom end of our tire, and we need to make 2 circles inside of it like we did with the other tire. And there we have our Vespa. Now let's put our face onto Luca. Not Luca, sorry, Alberto. I'm very known for doing funny things like that. So our mouth is going to go at this angle, our eyes are going to go at this angle, and our eyebrows are going to go up here, right? And so let's see. Our first eye, let's sharpen our pencil. Our first eye is going to go right in here like this. And then our second eye is going to go over here like that. And when you're putting in the eyes, you want to look at the space between the eyes to see where things go. And then here are our little eye balls. And then up here, we have our eyebrows. Okay. So our nose is going to come around like this. And it's going to go right here like that. Okay, so our mouth is going to, he's got a very wide mouth. It almost looks like a big oval. And then our top, you can erase the line there. And then here's this heart shape for his tongue. And you can put some teeth in there. Ta-da! We did it. We drew Luca and Alberto. All right, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to ink it. And I think I'm going to pause it while I ink it. And so I can turn it back on to show you what it looks like so I don't take up more of your time. But let me talk about my inking tools. I use these Faber-Castell lettering pens, and they're actually lettering pens. What I like about them is that they're brush markers. You can get them on Amazon. That's my favorite one right there. I also use to ink, I use this micron pen, which gives a finer line. Or you can use a Sharpie, the fine line Sharpie. The fat Sharpie is going to give you too much of a line and it's going to mess up your drawing. So you don't have to ink this. You can kind of keep it like this. I like to ink it because I like to be able to see my lines and then color them in and kind of get rid of the mess from the lines that I drew. So I'll start just by showing you kind of a few things with this micron pen right here. But I like to start with small lines, and they just kind of really clean up the lines that I drew in a very nice way. So I'm going to pause it and then I'm going to come back in just a second and show you what the finished drawing looks like. Okay, so as you can see, I finished my drawing and it's all ready to color in. Now, I haven't erased anything. You can erase if you want. I'm just going to show you really quickly what that looks like. So you just kind of come in and you can erase your lines very lightly. And just be careful that you've actually inked everything, because if you haven't and you erase it, you'll kind of lose your drawing. So that's what that looks like. I'm not going to erase everything. I'm going to kind of leave it like this because I like it like that. If you liked today's class, please hit like and subscribe. I will be adding more videos as the weeks go. I am not going to be teaching any more Saturday classes. So this Saturday, the 26th of June was my final hurrah, but I am going to keep doing weekly or bi-weekly YouTube videos. So please keep sending in your suggestions. Also, I love to see finished work. So you can send your work to my website at info@futurepicassos.com or tag me on Instagram at futurepicassos. And I look forward to drawing with you more. Remember to be patient with yourself. Remember to pause and rewind so you can learn and kind of go back and finish what you, and redo what you started, and give yourself grace, which is permission to kind of explore and have different experiences. And thank you so much for drawing. Please leave comments and I will see you soon in the digital art room. Have a beautiful day.